And welcome back to tonight's Law Call. Tonight we're taking on a very big topic. We're taking on suicide awareness and suicide prevention. To kind of put some things in perspective here, we talked about some of the statistics. In 2023, it was the 11th leading cause of death, the second leading cause of death for ages 10 to 14 and 25 to 34. It impacts millions of people. For every suicide, it affects at least 150 people. 12.8 million adults considered suicide in 2023, and more than 1.5 million attempts at suicide in 2023. If that's not a sobering fact.
That is very sobering. That's a lot of people.
That is. And so if people are thinking about it, people are contemplating about it, and I know that, we get information off the Google, we get it off of Gronk, we get it off of ChatGPT, we get it off of all these other things. We need the interaction.
That's right.
I've read a book here recently, and it talks about, human interaction and what's lacking about it here. So some of the suicide warning signs that we've got here, these are just some of them. Talking about a sense of hopelessness or impending death or even suicide itself, starting to give away prized possessions, dramatic changes in behavior. Those are some of the big things that are there. And sometimes somebody will say, well, I'm going to kill myself. Well, if they say that, believe them.
Believe them. Be serious.
What's the worst? What's the worst thing that could happen?
Error on the side of caution.
There you go. And so, you've actually got some training, some additional training for the specialized folks that are coming. And so, if somebody gives you that situation, it's the QP, question, persuade, and refer training.
That's right.
And it recognizes additional warning signs and offers hope and help, both at the same time. That is a 1-hour specialized, you get a certificate at the end of that training, and it's the question, persuade, and refer. And, we're not all mental health counselors.
Yeah, but for everyday people like myself that work amongst students, that live in the community, I've gone through this training several times myself.
Yes.
And I tell you, each time, Larry, it is eye-opening. I learn more, helps me to recognize more.
Right. And so that's the idea is, at what point do you say, all right, I need to take this seriously? I think the first time you hear it, you take it seriously.
every time.
Yeah.
I
think the first time you hear it, because that might be the one and only cry for help or reach out for help, or, and you don't have to be confrontational with somebody. You don't have to threaten anybody about it. Just say, tell me more what you're thinking about. Oh, I don't, I mean it, I don't mean it, or whatever. Take it seriously. And then, get somebody, question them a little bit more about it, put some time and distance between those thoughts and make sure that somebody gets, appropriate help. Gary Starr's, he watches us, every week. Gary's one of the good guys out there, and, he's a veteran, and he's unfortunately gone through PTSD a little bit. I know he doesn't mind me sharing that. But he had an email that he sent in. And, I'll kind of paraphrase it for you, that it seems like veterans are the, forgotten heroes. Yeah, we send them off to war. We send them all around the world, put everybody in situations that are really unnatural. You got people wanting to kill you, and unfortunately, in order to survive, you got to kill them. Or maim them and put people in that situation. And he pointed out, that nearly once an hour, 22 a day.
22 a day, that's a lot.
Our, veterans commit suicide. And, sometimes it's like, oh, I can't get into the VA, or I can't get my medicine, or I can't get my counseling.
Or sometimes I can't get an understanding person.
Right. Yeah. Somebody's just tired of listening to me.
Yes.
Guess what? You just keep talking. We'll talk.
That's right.
That's the big thing. Keep talking about things.
And as a veteran, my heart goes out to veterans.
Oh yeah.
People that commit their lives to ensuring freedom for this country. It is a huge sacrifice.
And the focus this year is on first responders, and think about what the first responders go see.
Oh yeah.
And it's not just the big blow-ups and the big shootings or anything. It's the everyday, daily calls.
It's the everyday, daily grind.
Why does a 3-year-old choke and die?
Yes.
Why does a 5-year-old get mauled to death by a dog? Why does, and you're asking these questions, why? But we're sending our EMS.
That's right.
We're sending our sheriffs. We're sending our police officers.
That's right.
And, you know, they're human beings.
They're human beings with families,
right.
with lives,
and they got
feelings and
right,
emotions.
Right. And, you know, they got a right to question it,
That's
too.
Right. How do you cope with that?
Yeah, how do you?
And I know we're saying this in a rhetorical sense, but imagine the trauma of seeing this day in and day out for weeks, months, years.
And many, you know, we talk about veterans and former veterans and homelessness, and we say, you know, how were they coping with it? Well, some of them, and I'm not just picking on veterans here either.
Right.
Some of them cope with it with alcohol. Some of it with drugs.
Yeah.
You know, some of it with failed relationships. Yes.
I just isolate myself.
Yeah, just put yourself off in a corner and just, you know, hope it all goes away, and nobody will come check on me and nobody will do anything. You know, so if you know somebody that's isolated, desolate, you know, in desolation, reach out to them.
Reach out to them.
You know, I have this little deal. When I think of somebody or I talk about somebody, maybe I haven't talked with them in 5 years, maybe I haven't talked with them in 10 years.
Go find them.
I'll text them, I'll make the call, I'll do something, and I've never regretted that.
Yes.
I've never regretted that.
Yes.
The only time I've regretted it is when I have not done it.
You have not done it. Yep.
Yeah.
I feel the same way when I say,
Yeah.
you know something, I was thinking about you.
Yep.
Make the call.
Yeah, and sometimes you know, sometimes things are good, sometimes things are bad, and sometimes that call really does reach out to people.
Yes,
you
it
know,
does.
and people, you know, one of the little things, you know, people don't understand about Perry and Young, and I want to kind of brag on my law partner. He and I made a decision years ago. There are a couple cards that we're going to send out twice a year. If you've, you know, been a client of ours, we're going to send out a birthday card, and you know, we're going to send you a Christmas card. And people say, "Oh, that's just advertising." No, it's not.
No, it's not.
We have, first of all, Chris and I, we used to do it. We used to do this. We kind of gotten away from it. Probably need to go back to doing it again. We would say a blessing and a prayer over all the cards before they went out. And we used to sign every one of them individually. We've gotten so many we can't sign them individually. But, you know, once a month we get that prayer to go out. And it's a blessing to go there. And we get telephone calls every now and again. This is the only birthday card I got. Thank you for remembering my birthday. And at Christmas time, we want people to feel a part of the community.
Yes.
And that they aren't forgotten, you know, because there are times when people are estranged from their families, or their families are estranged from them, or separated from them.
The holidays as well.
And sometimes there's not a home to go to for the holidays.
That's right.
So we want to reach in and reach out to people, you know, the same way at Christmas time, at least those 2 times. And we wish, you know, sometimes we could do it more without aggravating people, but we want people to know, hey, we're here and we're here for you.
Well, that old cliche holds true, Larry. People don't know how much you care until you show
there you go.
how much you care. So you and Chris keep doing that.
We're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep doing it. Folks, we're talking about suicide awareness and suicide prevention. If you are having an issue, there is a counselor available right now. All you got to do is dial 988. You can chat with that person. You can text with that person. It is a professional lifeline and somebody that will be there to listen to you. Folks, stay tuned. We'll be back for the last segment here in about 2 minutes.